Hello, everybody. This is Zemanon, coach of the New Haven Charizards, bringing you our Week 6 matchup in the LDL Majors division. We are facing off against Isaac and the Miami Manectric, and I'm a big fan because Manectric is one of my favorite Pokemon and arguably my favorite Mega. So I'm a fan of his team name here. Let's run through. Currently, we are 2-3 with a negative differential. I don't remember what it was at, but all I know is we have to win. We have to stop this 3-game losing streak. And you know we got to do something against Isaac's team here. So he has a team of Glisker, Tyranitar, Mega Manectric, Reuniclus, Kyurem, Melodic, Alolan Muck, Emboar, Tyrantrum, Machamp, and Victory Bell. This was a tough team to prep for, man. There's a lot of threats. Offensively, his Z users are Reuniclus and Kyurem, and you're going to want to take note of that. But, like, Melodic is a really hard wall for me to break through. Alolan Muck, I don't have a lot of answers for. Tyrantrum with the Scarf is I might as well just call it GG if I get in a bad spot, or if he is Dragon Dance or something like that. So luckily he didn't bring any of those. That was really nice for our squad, and I'll go over our teamers. So Wigglytuff, the 1-point master, is making his debut in the LDL Majors. Everybody, get excited. Wigglytuff with leftovers, Stealth Rock, Wish, Toxic, Protect, and really, honestly, I thought he just had a really good matchup. I could have had Moonblast. I was debating on Moonblast or Toxic. So, you'll see this Wigglytuff does not have an attack, which, its job is not to attack. Its job is to frisk, to see what other Pokemon are using, to set up Stealth Rock, and to Toxic things down, and then to Wish Pass. That's Wigglytuff's job this week. So I'm very excited that we're bringing our 1-point boy to the matchup here. Mega Venusaur has Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, and Synthesis is that in that fourth slot. I thought there were a lot of opportunities this week for me to Synthesis up. Like if he's locked into like a Rock Attack on the Tyrantrum or something, or if he has Machamp and he needs to switch it out. I thought Synthesis was going to be a nice bring to help me recover up HP. Choice banned Hitmonchan with Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Thunder Punch, and Ice Punch. Ice Punch obviously being for the Glisker there, but everything else I can pretty much just Drain Punch. Like Drain Punch, Choice Band does a lot. It's actually pretty scary because you get the 0.5 boost from Choice Band plus the 0.2 boost from Iron Fist. Like, it starts to stack up, and our boy Hitmonchan puts in work this week. You're gonna see. You're gonna be so excited for it. Down to the Starmie with Expert Belt and Natural Cure. Just 4 attacks: Scald, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Rapid Spin. Again, Rapid Spin because I don't have Tornadus on the team this week, so I'd like a way to get rid of Hazards. I'm not necessarily too weak to Hazards, actually. Like, maybe that could have been Calm Mind or Recover or something like that, because I actually only Weavile is weak to rocks this week for the squad. But now we have Ghostium Z Mimikyu this week. I didn't think I needed to play rough. Ghostium was to one-shot a full health a Reuniclus, and I didn't think, Let's Snuggle Forever was really that important this week. Like, I still had play rough on it, obviously, with Shadow Claw and Shadow Sneak and whatnot, but I thought Ghostium Z was the better Z move call this week. And then finally in that, we have Weavile with Life Orb. I decided to switch from Expert Belt because I hated it. Knock off Icicle Crash, Low Kick, and Ice Shard. That Low Kick is for, some of those Pokemon he has that are weak to fighting, like Kyurem and Tyrantrum and stuff like that. But I think Weavile really strong. Knock off an Icicle Crash, like knock off the Reuniclus, Icicle Crash, the Victory Bell. Like, I think it was a pretty good bring. Obviously, Icicle Crash onto Glisker also. So I'm pretty happy with bringing the Weavile here. So let's hop into the battle against Isaac. And as you saw, he is going to lead with his Manectric. Obviously, Wigglytuff is going to just frisk his Megastone, but that's not the point. The point is to send a message. And that message is Wigglytuff is here to take names. He's not here to be on the bench. He's not a cheerleader, a 1-point mon that's just going to stay on the bench on season. No, he is a contributing member to society. And he's going to help the New Haven Charizards get a win in this season. That's his goal with this lead on turn 1. So obviously he Mega Evolves and goes for the Volt Switch. I'm not really too concerned about whatever he wants to go for. So this is a free Stealth Rock turn for the Wigglytuff. I had all that heroic talk behind Wigglytuff, but really he was my lead just because he could set up Stealth Rock. That's all I needed. The Glisker is going to switch in here and going to reveal the Toxic Orb, which is obviously the most common set of Glisker. So at least I now know 2 of his 6 items, obviously, since it's his Megastone and his Toxic Orb. And Wigglytuff is here just to set up rocks and to learn everybody's items. That's what he does. So Glisker also goes for the Stealth Rock. So they're up on both of our sides, and the only way I can get rid of it is with the Starmie. So in comes the Reuniclus, and I go for the Ice Punch, and this does a surprising amount of damage. Like, I know I'm choice banded, but like, dang, that's a Reuniclus. In this moment, I'm like, he has to be offensive or something, because there's no way a neutral Ice Beam does that much to a bulky Reuniclus. So I bring in my Wigglytuff just to see, so I can frisk it, and it's Steelium Z Reuniclus. I'm freaking out. I'm like frantically checking what steel attack Reuniclus gets, and he gets like a physical one and a special steel attack. So I have no idea what this set is, but I'm freaking out. Like that was awesome to see Steelium Z. But I knew he wasn't gonna, I didn't think he would stay in it. Even if he did, I was okay with sacking off the Wigglytuff there. But I get the wish up. I could have just stayed in here to wish up the Wigglytuff, but again, he's not that important. Like, its job is to learn the items, so if it goes down because it's low health, it's not the end of the world. But thanks to, I also didn't know if I would live the Thunderbolt or not. And I wouldn't have, because RNG said it was a crit, so that would have been really bad. But I knew Venusaur could take any hit from the Manectric and then be brought back up to full HP thanks to the wish there. So Mega Venusaur coming out here in the game, and I'm going to Leech Seed as he goes for the Volt Switch. I wasn't worried, obviously, with Thick Fat. Even if he has Flamethrower or something, it's not doing a lot. So I'm actually just going to Leech Seed this incoming Reuniclus, who takes the rocks damage, and then my Leech Seed. And get ready, hold on to your butts, everybody, because I decide to switch out in this spot because I was afraid he was going to go for Psychic. And my best answer to a Psychic attack is my Dark-type Pokemon, which is Weavile. And I apologize, Dince, in advance. Like, this man just keeps getting knocked out and doing nothing ever. I think this is the 3rd time. And he goes for the Z move. Freaking Corkscrews Crash Reuniclus. Like, what a read on his end. That was so good. Like, I'm sorry Weavile's been just getting knocked out, but it was worth it in this situation. Oh my god, that's so awesome to see that. This still doesn't tell me which steel attack he went for, because obviously both of them would have knocked out this Weavile, but at least I know I blew the Z move, and what's great about that is it means Kyurem is not a Z move. So now I'm assuming he's Choice Scarfed. I think that's the next most likely thing, because you can Choice Scarf, be faster than Tornadus and Starmie and Weavile and other fast things I have. So he does go for the Flash Cannon, revealing that that's what the steel move was. Breaks my disguise, and this was a greedy play on my end. Shadow Claw. So if he was a bulky Reuniclus, like a regular Reuniclus, I don't think Shadow Claw would have knocked out. But the fact that he was so offensive made me think that he didn't have a lot of investment. And if he had no investment, Shadow Claw from that range would have knocked out at neutral. And I still would have had my disguise. So I kind of regret going for the Swords Dance here, because now my disguise is busted. And I'm really I think that was a greedy play that I didn't need to risk. So now I bring in Wigglytuff for another, just another quick frisking of my opponent. And I see that he is choice scarfed, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my god, is this going to be the same exact thing that we ran into against Electivire, where we were just not prepared for choice scarf on it? And choice scarf Flare Blitz is just massive. It's just if he's reckless and Flare Blitz, and it's a huge problem for me to deal with. The only Pokemon that can take a Flare Blitz is the Starmie. But the funny thing is it can't take two. That's how strong Flare Blitz is. So I needed it to be healthy so he had to switch out. I went for Scald. That was probably the wrong play. I think Psychic would have been better. Because obviously it catches the Victory Bell switch in, but it ends up not mattering because the combination Scald and Psychic knocks out Victory Bell anyway. So I actually it doesn't count as a misplay because the attack that I went for ended up not mattering in the game. So he's going to go into his Manectric here, and obviously I don't want to sacrifice the Starmie because it's so important. It's my best way of stopping the Emboar at this point. So I go into my Venusaur here, and he's just going to go for the Volt Switch again, he actually goes for Thunderbolt. So he was expecting me to stay in, and he would not. He would one-shot me there. So that Volt Switch does nothing, or that Thunderbolt does nothing. Now Manectric goes for the Volt Switch, brings me down to about half of my HP, and in comes the Kyurem, which thankfully we now know is not using his Z move. So I think we've actually learned all 6 items on his team, in heavy thanks to the Wigglytuff. But I'm gonna go for Synthesis because I expected the Volt Switch, so I could get back up to full health, and now I can Sludge Bomb freely against the Kyurem because of Thick Fat, and he's not Sub-Zero Slammer or anything like that. This damage reveals that he's not Choice Specs, because if he was Specs it would have been doing a lot more. So I am thinking, okay, he is Scarfed. So my Sludge Bomb brings him down low enough to where a second Sludge Bomb knocks it out. But I did not, we're going to go back and forth here a couple turns where I Synthesis as he Ice Beams. So he's locked into Ice Beam, I assume, at least. There's nothing stopping him from Ice Beaming, and there's nothing stopping me from using Synthesis every turn. So I am recovering more than Ice Beam is doing, so I'm getting a little bit back every turn, but I didn't want to take a turn off of Synthesis to Leech Seed to bring it down, because 1, Leech Seed can miss, and 2, if he got a crit or something like that on Ice Beam when I was low, it would knock me out, and it's just, then he scarfed into Ice Beam, and it just was not worth it. So, but I didn't want to sit here forever and just Synthesis, because he could have potentially gotten a freeze. Obviously, there's that 10% chance of freeze on Ice Beam. So when I'm at half health here, all right, this is good enough. I'll just knock it out, and Kyurem goes down. It's not Kyurem Black, by the way. Sorry, it was regular Kyurem. And I knew I wasn't going to take this hit, obviously, but every little bit of Flare Blitz recoil damage that he takes is good for me, because it gets him into closer and closer range of my Hitmonchan's Mach Punch. Because again, I am Choice Banded, so that's really, I get him down to, I think, under 30% is what I needed, and he can't do anything. So here's the opposite of what happened the last time I was in against the Emboar. I went for Scald and then Psychic. This time I went for Psychic when I should have Scalded, because Glisker comes in, and it ends up also not mattering because Scald just knocks out the Glisker anyway. So this is 2 times that Starmie, our boy Starmie, is just clicking buttons and getting away with it. You get 2 knockouts, and it didn't even matter which button you press. So now I have to sacrifice the I think I have to sacrifice the Starmie here, just so I can get my my Hitmonchan in at pretty much full health, except for the Stealth Rock's damage. I had a little bit of special defense investment, so I knew I could take some Thunderbolts. I could have won this game 2-0, so I'm going to spoil it and tell you that we win this match, and it's going to be a 1-0 where my Hitmonchan lives Thunderbolt, Drain Punch knocks out the Manectric, right? Now we're up 2-1. So the reason I did that was because I knew I had Mimikyu in the back as a sack. So he has to lock into Flare Blitz with Emboar. I switch in Mimikyu and he takes like 90% of, I have 90% HP left, so he's going to take a third of that recoil or whatever, which guaranteed puts him in range of Mach Punch. Now, Mimikyu also had Shadow Sneak, so it's not like, in the same scenario, if he just Flare Blitzed the Hitmonchan, then he gets low enough for Shadow Sneak. So the game was over at this point. But I could have won 2-0, but I didn't want to risk it. What I could have done was Mach Punched the... what's it called? The Manectric. And then I 2 Mach Punches knock it out. And I would have been high enough to live a Flare Blitz. So I could have... But I didn't want to risk Thunderbolt 1 getting a paralysis, and then 2 flinching me because of it, which I know is a crazy low it's a crazy low chance of happening or whatever, but I knew that if I got paralyzed, I would have lost the game, because then Emboar would have been at a high enough health where Shadow Sneak from Mimikyu would not have knocked out. So and because he was Choice Scarfed, he was faster than me, my disguise was broken, and he would have knocked me out in 1 hit, as you saw. So, yes, in theory, I could have won 2-0, but I thought, even if it was a 3% chance of Thunderbolt paralyzing and flinching me the next turn, I didn't want to risk it, and I thought the 1-0, as long as we won, it was more important. Because, again, we were on a 3-game losing streak, which really, really was upsetting. So I just wanted to win at all costs. So I'll take the 1-0 victory. That was a pretty fun match against Isaac. GG's to him. The Emboar was a huge threat. The Reuniclus was awesome. I wish I saw something out of Victory Bell, but I'm happy I didn't see anything out of Victory Bell. And our boy Wigglytuff put in the work. Like, I don't know what to say. He frisked everybody. He got the Stealth Rocks up. He had a nice wish into Mega Venusaur, and that's what you can accomplish with 1 point on your team. All right, use this as a motivational moment for the rest of you if you're ever in a draft, that you can make a 1 point mon work just like we did here. But for now, we actually have finally one more match to upload, and then we are caught up. That'll be our Week 7 matchup. And if you'd like to see that, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our posts and everything like that. But for now, this is Zemanon and the New Haven Charizards signing off. We will catch you next time.